Alright, so I decided to divide the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary trailer analysis into two separate videos. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the Kingdom Hearts mobile stuff, that being Kingdom Hearts Missing Link and Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. And I'm going to have another video coming out a little bit later on that's going to be focusing exclusively on the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. I think it's probably a better idea to go this route because I think it would just make things flow a lot more smoothly. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's go ahead and look into the new trailer for Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. And there's not too much to dissect here, but there are a few things that did catch my interest, and I do want to talk about them and discuss them with you guys. So be sure to leave your thoughts on these trailers down in the comments section below, and let's get the discussion started. All right, so moving into the Kingdom Hearts Dark Road trailer. The first thing that I want to look at comes right about here. A little bit earlier. There we go. Okay. So here we have a scene in Enchanted Dominion, and they're talking about an evil fairy, that of course being Maleficent, who has cursed Princess Aurora. Now, take note of something. You don't see Ericus, you don't see Xehanort in any of these Enchanted Dominion scenes, alright? It's just the upperclassmen. Ericus, Xehanort, the people in their class are nowhere to be seen in these Enchanted Dominion cutscenes. I think that's very, very important because it is implied in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep that the meeting between Xehanort and Maleficent in that game was their first meeting. So if they were to meet, if Xehanort was to meet Maleficent in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, it would really begin to conflict with the timeline and it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So I don't think we're going to be visiting Enchanted Dominion with Xehanort, with Ericus, and with any of their classmates. I think it's just going to be the upperclassmen that actually visit this particular world. Now they're talking about how Maleficent has cursed Princess Aurora. And what I think is going on here, if you remember back at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, they were talking about how time flows differently in every world. So, you know, 5 years in one world can be, I don't know, 20 years in another world. You know, time is relative, essentially. So what I think is going on here is that I think on the time axis that is operating in Enchanted Dominion, between the era of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road and the beginning of Birth by Sleep, only 16 years has passed in Enchanted Dominion, because I think what we're seeing right here in Enchanted Dominion, they're talking about Maleficent cursing Aurora. I think this is telling the events of when Aurora was born, when Maleficent first cast the sleeping curse on Aurora, and I think that's the events that are being told for Enchanted Dominion in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. And of course later on in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, we see that the curse actually comes to fruition on Aurora's 16th birthday. So yeah, I think that's what's happening here. Could be wrong, but I think that's what's happening here. And basically, you know, the way that time flows in Enchanted Dominion, it's only been 16 years in that particular world between the time of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road and the beginning of Birth by Sleep, and we're witnessing the events of baby Aurora being cursed by Maleficent. So, speaking of Maleficent, if we move on to the next scene, we actually have Maleficent right here fighting the upperclassmen. Again, take note, Xehanort, Ericus, nowhere to be seen. I don't think they're going to be visiting this world, and again, it just wouldn't make sense because it's heavily implied that Xehanort and Maleficent's first meeting was in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Alright, this man right here, Master Odin, oh my goodness, dude. This guy is so freaking sus. Listen to what this man says, or rather, read what this man says. You know, he's forbidden his students from learning about Kingdom Hearts, from studying Kingdom Hearts. Instead, he's saying they must focus on studying the darkness and its nature. Why is a Keyblade Master of Light so obsessed about studying the darkness and its nature? Does no one else find that kind of weird? I find that kind of weird. I think Master Odin is sus. I know there are the theories out there about, you know, Master Odin potentially being one of Lu Shu's vessels, so it's actually Lu Shu inside of Master Odin. Pause. That sounded wrong. He's possessing Master Odin. That sounds better. I'm starting to believe those theories may hold some weight because after this trailer, Master Odin is mad sus, talking about studying darkness, you know, that his students need to focus on studying darkness. I am finding Master Odin to be super, super sus. And right here, look at this, bro. Look at this. This is probably near the end of the game. Master Odin in front of a fallen young Xehanort and young Ericus and the other students, both the upperclassmen and the students in Xehanort and Ericus' class, nowhere to be found. He says, only you remain. It's almost like he knew something like this was going to happen. That's the vibe I'm getting. You know, tell me if you guys are thinking something else down in the comment section below. But the vibe that I'm getting is that he seemed to know that something bad like this would happen and that some of the students would die. So, I don't know, like, I almost get the feeling like he set up this whole thing in Dark Road to try and see, like, who would survive and, like, the survivors of this test or whatever Odin is doing, you know, like, they're worthy to become Keyblade Masters or something, like in a very sick, twisted survival of the fittest type of Mark of Mastery exam. I could be wrong, but right now Odin is on my sus list. He's on my sus list. I do not trust this guy. Something else I do want to point out, if you look over here in the corner, right behind Master Odin, you can make out a dark shadowy figure. This is clearly one of the 13 darknesses, one of the 13 primordial or willful darknesses. You can make out the figure right there, so clearly darkness is involved. The entity known as darkness is going to be involved in the fall of Xehanort, and the fall of Xehanort's and probably because honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I think all of these other students besides Xehanort and Ericus are probably gonna die in this game, and darkness seems to be involved with bringing about their demise. Now, whether darkness and Odin are working together, I don't know. That could be a possibility. But yeah, I don't trust Odin. And, you know, darkness, we got, you know, the darkness from Union Cross running around in the background. It's interesting, but I do not trust Master Odin at all. I do not trust Master Odin one bit. And then I love this scene right here, man. This is the Master of Masters at his peak. He's just like, morning. I love it. I love the Master of Masters. He's such a great character. I really love this character, man. So, okay, so there's really not much else in this trailer that I wanted to talk about, except this right here. Oh no, this is heartbreaking. Xehanort and Ericus becoming enemies. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Do you plan to stand in my way as a true Keyblade Master? No, as a true friend. That's so freaking heartbreaking, bro. Like, cause you know Ericus, like, through it all, like, even in their old age, man, Ericus still cared for Xehanort like a brother. I mean, you know, even after Xehanort scarred him, he was still willing to forgive Xehanort for all of this crap, bro. And Xehanort just, he killed this man, you know, he stabbed this man in the back, and it's just, oh, it's tragic. Xehanort and Ericus' story is so tragic. It's very heartbreaking. Alright, so that's all I wanted to cover from Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. So let's go ahead and move on to Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. And of course the game has been delayed till August. Very frustrating. I was hoping that the game was actually going to come out today, but that turns out not to be the case. It's being delayed to August 2022, so we're going to have to wait till the end of summer before we actually get to play Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. But I think it'll be well worth the wait. I really do. Alright, so now we have Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. And first of all, this soundtrack, this music, this theme, yo, this is the bomb, bro. I love this theme. I love this music. This is such a good theme. Alright, so first thing I wanted to talk about here, it says that light and darkness brought about the beginning and hearts nurtured it. So in Kingdom Hearts 3, Xehanort said that the world came from the light of Kingdom Hearts, that everything came from the light of Kingdom Hearts. But here in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, we have a contradictory statement to that, that being that light and darkness together brought about the beginning. Light and darkness together created the world. I'm not really sure how to reconcile that. The only way I can think to reconcile this statement with what Xehanort said in Kingdom Hearts 3 about everything coming from Kingdom Hearts is that maybe what Xehanort was talking about is that the world that existed in the Age of Fairy Tales came from Kingdom Hearts, and this new world, you know, the divided world, the world where, you know, there's not just one big world, there's many smaller worlds, the world that we know of in modern Kingdom Hearts, that was brought about from the Keyblade War, which was a clash between light and darkness. So perhaps that's what they're talking about, like the world of the Age of Fairy Tales did come from Kingdom Hearts, but this new world, this world that is made up of many smaller worlds, it came from, it came about as a result of the Keyblade War, which was a war between light and darkness. So maybe that's what this statement in particular is talking about. It's talking about the world as it is now was created by light and darkness. That's really the only way I can see to reconcile those two statements. I love this music so much, though. Seriously, this is such a good soundtrack. And then, of course, it's talking about, life was passed down time and time again. Of course, talking about, generations creating new generations. Yeah, I don't need to explain the birds and the bees to you guys, okay? At least I hope not. If you don't know the birds and the bees, get off this video. You shouldn't be watching this channel. Alright, so the different look of Skull-Eyed Kylam, it's got more of that old style London type of look instead of the, I don't even know what you would really call the look of Skull-Eyed Kylam in Kingdom Hearts 3. But clearly, Skull-Eyed Kylam during the time of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is very different from the Skull-Eyed Kylam that we see Xehanort and Ericus training in, and the Skull-Eyed Kylam we see in Kingdom Hearts 3. And it has been confirmed, and I'm going to leave a link to all this down below, but there has been some news coming out about these games, about these trailers, giving a little bit more detail and a little bit more context to all of this. And I'm going to leave a link to the KH13 website where they have an article covering all of this news, but it has been revealed that this game does take place between the ending of Union Cross and the beginning of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. So essentially, it is a sequel to Union Cross and a prequel to Dark Road, which makes sense because later on we do see Brain, and of course, Brain is... It's not been 100% confirmed, but it pretty much is confirmed. It's like a 99% chance that Brain is Ericus's grandfather because, of course, Ericus is a blue blood. He is Keyblade royalty, essentially. So this is after Brain shows up in Skull-Eyed Kylam and, he looks at Ephemer's statue and everything. This takes place pretty much immediately afterwards, after the end of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and we pick things up with Brain. We have Keyblade wielders training in Skull-Eyed Kylam, and it looks really good. I mean, I'm actually surprised that a mobile game can look this good. I really am. Okay, something I do need to point out about this particular game, and that is, if we can go ahead and skip to some combat, that is the use of what appears to be like trophies, statues. I don't know, like the Keyblade wielders here are summoning, it looks to me like some kind of trophy or statue that's based off of a Kingdom Hearts character. Like there we have the Donald one, we just saw the Sora one, and I'm guessing these probably work similar to how medals worked in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Maybe? I'm not really sure. We need some more information on the gameplay, but one thing that we do know about the gameplay, and this I thought was kind of interesting, I really didn't I really didn't see Nomura and Square Enix going in this direction with Kingdom Hearts, but apparently this game is going to be somewhat similar to Pokemon Go? What? That's kind of weird. But yeah, apparently according to Tetsuya Nomura, or according to Square Enix, I'm not sure if Nomura himself was... Actually, I think it was Nomura that was interviewed directly about this. Regardless, there was an interview confirming that this game is going to have elements of Pokemon Go. Apparently, there's going to be like a story mode where you complete quests, and then there's going to be like a walk-around mode that is... They're comparing it to Pokemon Go, so I guess you're going to go around and collect Kingdom Hearts characters and turn them into these statues, these trophies you use in combat. I don't know. It's weird, man. Like, it's freaking weird. That's not really my type of game. You know, I didn't really get into the Pokemon Go thing all that much, to be completely honest with you. But I do like the look of this game. And if you would have told me that this was, you know, like a Nintendo Switch game or something like that, I would have absolutely believed you. So yeah, here we have a different character model. You can create your own custom character. At least that's what it appears to be, that you can create your own custom character, similar to how you could customize the player character in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Essentially, this game is like a sequel to Union Cross, pretty much, and it looks a lot better than Union Cross, in my personal opinion. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, I kind of want to play this. Again, I don't really play mobile games, but I kind of want to play this. I wish it would come to something like Switch, honestly. I think this game would be a perfect fit on the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so here we have a man in a black coat, and we saw earlier in the trailer, at the beginning of this trailer, the same, I'm assuming it's the same man, and he's holding the no-name Keyblade. Now, you know, you would think that this is probably Lushu, but I'm thinking, and I do think it is Lushu, but I don't think it's Lushu in his original body. I think it's the Lushu who possesses Brain. So, you know, it seems that, you know, at the end of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, it seemed that Lushu actually took over Brain's body, and, you know, he was in an organization coat, he had the black box, he, you know, presumably hid the black box somewhere, and now we have him here in Skull-Eyed Kylum after all that went down. So I think this is Lushu, but I think this is Lushu after having possessed Brain and taken him as a vessel. But as we see later on at the end of the trailer, we have our boy Brain. Now this, I think, is the real Brain, the one that showed up at the end of Union Cross in Skull-Eyed Kylum, you know, looking up at Ephemer's statue saying, "He was my best friend," you know. I think that is this Brain. This is the Brain that goes on to become Ericus's grandfather or ancestor. And so we have two Brains walking around. We have the real Brain, and then we have Lushu Brain, and we're really not sure how Brain got a new body, even though Lushu possessed his body. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm going to stop right there, because the whole Lushu Brain thing really does confuse the hell out of me. It really does. I still don't understand entirely what's going on, but it's fascinating. It is fascinating. And so we do find out later on that there's going to be a closed beta later this year for Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. And that tells me that the full game probably won't be out until 2023. So it seems like really the only Kingdom Hearts game we're going to be getting this year is going to be Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. We'll probably get Kingdom Hearts Missing Link next year, and then I'm hoping and I'm praying that Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to come out in 2024. I don't think it's going to come out next year. I definitely think that's too soon. Although I would love it, but I think that's probably too soon. So I'm thinking Kingdom Hearts Dark Road this year, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link next year, Kingdom Hearts 4 2024. That's what I'm hoping for. But that's going to wrap it up for this trailer analysis of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road and Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. In a little bit, I will have a video coming out later on that's going to give you guys an analysis of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. So Until then, until the next video, I am Jessica James, signing out.